the lunge side abdominal stretch. Now I can probably race through this fairly quickly. We're going to have seen this lunge position before, and if you haven't checked out my hip videos, hip flexor videos, lower back videos, etc., you're going to see how there is a carryover here. But what we're going to be looking to do is stretch out the abdominals in a lunge position. That's going to protect the lower back and prevent any excessive extension of the lower back that may well be causing you problems. So here we get a chance to almost block out the hips and then extend and stretch out not only the abdominals, but let's get a little bit more technical here with the intercostal muscles, those muscles that go in between the ribs. I don't want to get too technical, but again, they get a chance to stretch out as well as the abdominals as well. So here it's a great little stretch, and essentially what you need to do is get yourself into a lunge position. We're always going to remember those other key parts about getting a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt, but here we're not going to do it as aggressively because we actually want to stretch out this front here, and that includes those hip flexors, which are going to allow for that stretch to happen too. So whilst we're going to maintain a neutral spine, we're not necessarily going to get into that real aggressive posterior pelvic tilt and squeeze the glutes really, really hard. We're just going to keep everything nice and stable, and that is our stretching point to stretch from and take out the lower back out of the equation. So there we go. From here, I'm in my lunge position, and what I'm doing is I am making sure that this is all nice and stable. I'm not allowing myself to sort of be all floppy everywhere. Here I want to get a nice stable base, but I'm not looking to really contract those abs because I'm actually looking to stretch them out at this time. But what I'm going to do is allow this position to be nice and firm, so I'm allowing some degree of stability in there, and then from this position I'm going to stretch up. Now I'll come up with whichever leg is stretched, whichever leg is down on the floor, that is the leg that we use the same arm to create the stretch. Therefore, we're lengthening out this whole side. So we're going to work one side at a time. Now, you may well have seen from my other videos here where we go into like a lunge position with an overhead reach. This is similar, except it's where our emphasis is on. When we're coming up and over, here I'm actually going to allow myself to come back and over my head slightly, so we're going to be extending out the front, as opposed to when we come forward, which is going to be stretching out those lower back muscles and even those deeper muscles. So here we're going to be looking to stretch out from here, but we're only going to go to a point where we feel a stretch, no pain whatsoever. If you feel pain, stop. So from here, we're in this lunge position, we're nice and set up without being overly embraced, and then from here the arms coming up over the head. Now I'm just coming and slight lean back, and now I feel good stretch down this whole side and even in the ribs, as I explained before, and that's really, really nice. Try and relax that neck as much as possible, just allow it to fall into line and just hold that position, and then you'll come across and do the other side. Now you could do one side first, focus on one side, do it for the number of repetitions that you're going to do, but again, get yourself set up, and now we come up and now follow that back. And again, the stretch is really great, particularly in those intercostals. I find that this one hits those rib muscles, shall we call them, in between the ribs really, really well. Again, I really don't want to be using technical terms. There's plenty of clever people out there showing you all the technical terms. I just want you to be able to get on and get your body working as best as it possibly can. And this is a great way of stretching out those abdominals. Yes, it's focusing on one side at a time primarily, obviously, but also those intercostal muscles, those muscles in the ribs there, allowing for that stretch. So a really great way of using the stretch, particularly if you find maybe some of the other abdominal stretches slightly uncomfortable in certain parts of the body.